Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 26 of the Scottish Silverbacks podcast. And this week we're joined by fellow Scottish bodybuilder, Jack Gunn. And I thought I'd get Jack on the show because I think you put up a post, Jack, didn't you, about you moving up to the super heavies? That's the goal now.
Yeah, that's the plan this year. So,
Nice.
boys.
So tell us what the plans are then.
So obviously we competed last year. It was a bit of a disaster with the whole COVID thing. You know, things didn't quite go as we planned, so didn't quite get to do what we wanted to do. So we got to do the PCA Scottish, which was really good. That was quite a ad hoc decision. Ben gave me a lot of verbal abuse for that, but yeah, we cracked on with it, and obviously it turned out to be a good decision. But kind of for me, that was my first year out of the juniors. So I put in kind of like a 2-year off season, and it was important for me to see where I stood as an opens bodybuilder, and I wanted to be in a big lineup against other opens guys, and I didn't quite get that. The Two Bros show was obviously a short lineup, and I didn't walk away feeling like I kind of found out what I needed to find out, or I didn't know where I stood, which is why we did PCA. But obviously I've had a chat with Ben off the back of that, and I think we're in a position now where maybe this year we can, at the tail end of the year, maybe jump into another show. But looking back at last year, I only made the heavyweights by, I think it was 0.4 of a pound.
Okay.
So we just scraped it. So we'll, I think, no doubt be in the super heavies this year. So it'll be a big year for me. So while we're looking at Callum Restricts, I think he's endorsed a Two Bros show.
September.
Yeah, so we're going to use that, and then just because it's around that time, possibly the Arnolds as well. And I think Ben's back over in the UK as well, so we could meet to meet Ben.
Aye.
So it'd be pretty cool. So that's the plan. That's the plan. It says,
Nice. Yeah. No, I was just saying that. Like, I was quite surprised that you said that you're just like 0.4 of a pound. Like, you're one of those guys that looks way bigger than his weight suggests.
Yeah, it was a funny one the way in that day, because the flight, fuck me, like, Greg, I listened to you speak about when you went to Denmark, and it was like a couple of disastrous moments, and like it was the same flying down there. It was like the flight got cancelled. Everywhere I thought I could get food was shut, because I didn't realise you could take food in the plane, because I'm from Inverness and I lived like 30 years in the past. But like we got there and we couldn't get a fucking taxi because of COVID. It was just a disaster. And by the time we were on the road, I was trying to get my second meal. We got a text for the weigh-in, so it was like one meal in that morning on the plane, like pissing all day straight to the airport. So like we scraped it by 0.4 a pound. So, but yeah,
maybe you would have been over the weight, but it was just like a fucked up travel journey that kind of
possibly, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Fucking weigh-ins this year. Obviously, as a super heavyweight, you don't really give a shit. You just sort of turn up and just stand the scales and leave. But obviously, if you want to make the heavies or whatever, it's sometimes very, very close.
It was stressful as well, because we were like, because we knew where my weight was, and it was like you're coasting on that fine line. It's not like we were like 5 or 6 pounds below 225. We were like right on the fence, so it just made the whole thing a bit more stressful. So, but hopefully in the future that's not going to be a problem. Like you say, you just super heavies just turn up. That's it.
Yeah. And the whole, you had you part own Forge, don't you?
Yeah, 50% partner. Yeah.
Aye, so you've got a good be set. You had a good be set up there during like the pandemic and stuff. So,
well, yeah. So we actually took the gym on during the pandemic, which was like crazy in itself. It wasn't a planned decision. It was quite an ad hoc, spur of the moment thing. It was like, but it turned out we call it the most expensive gym membership we've ever bought. But like, it paid off in the end. And it meant like, during lockdown, it was a blessing in that I had somewhere to train, but also it gave us a chance. The gym was shut. It's a 24-hour gym, so doing like any sort of work, renovations in a 24-hour gym is next to impossible,
Aye.
So like gave us a window to like rip up floors, knock down walls, and get all this work done. So, during the lockdown, I was still training and the gym was growing and getting better as well. So it was sort of like win-win. It was hard, like you guys are probably the same. Like it's shut. Yeah, you've got the gym, you've got the kit there, but it's not like it's not the same, and I almost felt a bit guilty as well for doing what I was doing, but
Nah,
I didn't, but I did. But like, it wasn't the same without the atmosphere, without everybody there. But yeah, we got it done.
See, even recently, like I've been looking back of like obviously my preps and what I had to do in COVID, like going to train in the shed, and I actually remember looking back, like thinking back now, I remember like obviously how much I hated it at the time, like an hour and a bit drive every way, like it was absolutely freezing some mornings, like it was cold to touch the fucking weights. And then looking back now, like a fucking like it was awesome to train in like that kind of place, that little wee dungeon. It was just hardcore, and like every time you walked in, you're like, right, let's fucking put the music on full blast, just fucking lift some heavy shit. And it was actually good. I'm obviously very grateful for having that. It wasn't the best setup, but I mean, it was better than nothing, and managed to get shit done. So yeah, it's kind of good to have something like that.
I think as well with even like the home step. I mean, like I followed you, Greg, and like you made progress in that time as well. It's like you kept moving, and it's like we had the kit, so we just got it done. There was a few things like when it came to training, I just had to tell myself in my head, look, I've got an hour. This is what I've got to do. I had my training plan from Ben, and I was like, I've just got to go and get this done in an hour. There was no like faffing about like I usually would have in the gym, but I found if I stayed in the gym when it was that dead and that quiet and that cold longer than an hour, like I kind of started to slide off. So it took some getting used to, but like looking back, it was like, yeah, we trained in Dean's Garage as well for a while, and we had like a squat rack and some dumbbells. That was it, but we made it work, But looking back, it shapes you.
Aye.
Oh yeah. Andy, you don't have to go through that.
I know. Mate, I'm too famous, mate. I'm too famous, so I'll settle, mate. It's fine. I think a lot of guys, like, obviously, maybe, well, yeah, I've kind of toyed with the idea myself, but, it's always the dream of having your own gym and, like, coming in, there's no one else in, you just fucking blast the music and that, and you set the rules, you pick the kit. I think it's, for guys that take it as serious as us, I think it is very much like a dream come true. In terms of like the reality of it though, you hear a lot of guys when they take over gyms and like, they no longer become a bodybuilder or a personal trainer or a coach, and they're now a gym owner, and they're kind of a wee bit surprised about the transition from those roles to that one. How have you found it kind of, with the gym? Because it seems to be like taking off. So
I mean, like I fully resonate with what you've just said, and it was, and I said this when we went into this thing, I was probably the more hesitant out of myself and Dean, and I was like, I don't want the gym to feel like work. I still want the gym to be my place where I can go in and do what I need to do. And that was like really important to me, because I thought, if it becomes that, I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do, what I want to do with competing. But we sat down, cracked our heads together. We're both pretty level-headed, and we both were involved in bodybuilding in some capacity, and we just sussed it out. So we took on, we're very fortunate, we've got two amazing lassies that help us run the place in our absence. So really throughout the week there's no real need for Dean and myself to be there. So the place sort of runs itself, and I can still go into the gym, put my headphones on and get my session done. And that was really important, and we've made it work. Yeah. But I definitely did stress about it for a while. Yeah. But it worked. Everything works out in the end, doesn't it?
Aye. What is it you do full time?
I'm a business change manager with an company. So like all the major kind of IT projects and stuff, we deliver them into the business. Yeah. So it's sort of a work from home thing as well. So again, it works out quite well. Yeah. So
it's funny how like you just expect bodybuilders to be like, I'm a PT or I'm a coach. You know what I mean? There's never like anything else can be possibly fathomable. You know what I mean? But no, how did you get into that?
So I started an apprenticeship when I left school as a substation fitter. So we did like the maintenance work on like high voltage substations, and just from there I took a secondment in management. And the reason I took the secondment was, again, to be favourable towards my bodybuilding, and because the work we were doing in substations, we were over in Orkney, we were over in Stornoway, and yeah, it's great travelling about and seeing the country, but like it's shit for bodybuilding. Like the gyms are like, it's just a basic kind of leisure centre gym. I just couldn't I was really struggling to do what I needed to do, and it was sort of stressing me out. And so, you know, I took the secondment, gone to management, 35-hour week, office based. So then all sort of worked out in the end, you know. So.
Aye. No, sounds good.
How old are you now, Jack?
Just turned 26, mate.
When did you start doing bodybuilding?
So I've always trained, but actual training with the mindset of a bodybuilder would probably be when I met him when I was like 18, 19. So yeah, that was probably like the kind of pivotal moment for me where I decided like what I want to do, you know.
What did you do before that? Shinty?
No, believe it or not, no. I tried to play shinty. I was shit. I tried to play golf. I think everything I did, I was just exceptionally shit at. And then found the gym, and it was like, I'm all right at this. I quite enjoy it. It was more of something I enjoyed, and I stuck with it. And yeah, that's how it happened, I suppose.
Because we know, like, obviously up in the Highlands. I mean, I've got an online client up there just now, and obviously I trained Louise for 2 years as well. And you know, there's not a lot much up there in terms of like the fitness industry. So far, in the recent years, there's been quite a lot of guys and girls that have come out of the Highlands and have done really well. And it just goes to show, like, even, you know, in areas where bodybuilding isn't the biggest, you can still kind of, you know, extract some great guys. I mean, obviously Greg and I are from Aberdeen, and that's kind of the same kind of setup as the North, because like there's not really, you can name a handful of like actual good competitive guys. So no, it's good to see kind of like guys and girls coming out from your way, kind of, you know, making it and trying to develop their physique and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, it was a lonely sport when I started out, because I was going to these shows and nobody else up here. I could count on one hand how many people competed.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was the guy at these shows. I was like, didn't know anybody. I would sit in the corner with my hood up, with my headphones on. Where it's like now I'm going to these shows and like you know, like I know everyone, recognize people. So it's like, but like we've got like, for example, Rob's show, the Granite City, that's coming up. We've got like, there's 25, almost 30 people from the gym going to either compete or watch. So it's like that's like night and day from when I started. So
aye, 100%.
Like, yeah. So
it's just obviously creating that environment. Like obviously, I think you've probably done that by buying the gym, and like you've maybe forced bodybuilding more into the gym, whereas like people kind of get more like want to do it. It's the same now with the warehouse in Aberdeen, which you've just visited, Jack, all been done up, like amazing kit. And it's like the amount of new people coming there now, and you can actually see the enthusiasm in the people. Like I've known these people for a while, but I can see a difference in them now, changing towards like how much they love training because they've got a better atmosphere, better environment. The kit's amazing, and like I'll guarantee in like a year or two time, these people are going to be competing, and the point we've thought about before. So it's really just creating that environment, which not many places in Scotland have. I mean, Glasgow is probably the biggest, but you can see a lot of towns are branching out now. Like I think Aberdeen with the warehouse now is probably one of them, and like obviously you guys have created a better environment up there. So it's just that, as for me, it's just about creating that environment, which not a lot many people have.
Yeah, I think as well, it's like having a local contact, you know, or someone you can at least speak to about it, like yourselves, like you guys, you know, you represent the sport in the areas you're in, and like, you know, what you do with like this podcast and your social medias and stuff, like it gets the message out there. Whereas up here, we didn't really have that before, and it's all pretty new. But like with the gym, you can have all the people with the want to get involved in bodybuilding, but unless you have someone willing to kind of facilitate it and, you know, build a gym where you can actually take it seriously, that's, you know, it's a whole other thing. So that's what we're very conscious of with the gym. You know, we've kind of put a lot of work in to kind of improve the gym itself, like the actual facility, changing rooms and stuff. But now we're starting to replace the kit with, you know, heavier duty stuff, and it's starting to take shape of what we kind of envisioned at the start. So like, I hope that with that, the amount of people getting involved in the sport from up here grows as well.
That's class. It's like we said, it's good to see. So, and yeah, I've tried to put Scotland on the map a wee bit, because obviously the population of us that do this is quite small. So it's good to see any kind of progression across any front, really. But yeah, so Greg, you put out a Q question thing on Instagram.
I was actually going to ask Jack just a quick question again, but from your last competitive season there going into this one, what did you feel you needed to improve on or change, or you wanted to, you know, just get better at?
So I'm very lucky with Ben and like a few kind of close friends. who I have that are very honest, and they'll just tell me how it is. And it's like Ben has expressly said, like, posterior, like kind of glutes, hamstrings, lower back, that needs to come up. And he's probably bang on the money as well, because when I look back at my pictures, that's like as soon as I turned around, and that's where I was lacking. So we've kind of been putting our focus on those areas. But all round, just in general, is condition. It's 100% condition for me, and we will get there. And kind of as the years have gone by, and we've kind of put on a bit more muscle, it's been a lot easier. But I think it's more. I think that making the decision last minute to do that second show, it kind of taught me a lot, because the reason that prep was so different to the first one is like I kind of discovered what my 100% was. You know, I was like, because it's only 6-7 weeks, I put my fucking head into it, and the blinkers went off, and like that was me giving 100%, and I showed myself what I can do in 6-7 weeks, giving 100%. So ever since then, that's like set the new standard. So
yeah,
hopefully that makes.
Do you feel you just didn't make the condition you needed, or was it more of a peaking type thing?
I think a bit of both. So so we started our carb up, like it was the Tuesday or the Wednesday, and on the Thursday I was like raging full, probably the best I've ever looked. And obviously the show was Saturday, Sunday, and then it softened out a bit towards then. But the second day of carbs was probably the best I looked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
It's a case of like just finding that kind of that zone where you just don't give a fuck about being uncomfortable and pain all the time, and can't lift your legs, can't lift your head type.
That's it. I guess until you go there, you don't really know it exists. And Ben helped me to get there. Now I know what I can do, so I'll fucking do it again, but I'll do it for the whole prep.
Yeah, because that's what I was like in 2019. I just realised that there was a whole nother level of fucking suffering. And it definitely, and once you've done it once, you're like, I can do that again, easy. Not easy, but I can do it again.
Yeah, we're at the point now in preps where it's like, if we don't feel like that straight away, we're thinking there's something wrong.
100%.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not fucking dieting here, but I look good. What the fuck's going on? I need to fucking work hard. There's something I need to push myself hard, and the coach's like, no, don't. Yeah, it's fucking a bad game.
100%.
Yeah. Questions. Okay. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be? It doesn't have to be bodybuilding related.
Don't go to uni. Easy. Fuck that. What a waste of time that was. But people are like, everything's a learning process. There's nothing about university that taught me anything, like about life or anything like that. Nothing. So it was a waste of time, waste of money. Still paying off a student loan. I didn't use my degree. I should have just left and just fucking saved up and went and become a PT.
You sell it really well, mate.
Yeah, it's done all right.
I don't even know. I wish I actually done something different and had a bit different focus in school. Like, I can't remember who it was I was listening to, but it was like a mindset person. They said, like, when you go to school, they don't tell you the things to be successful. They tell you you should be something to help the world, like a nurse, a fucking policeman, all this kind of shit. And it's like, they don't tell you like what is going to make you successful in life. And it's like, I wish I realized that later on, like the things they were teaching us was not actually making me a better person. It was going to make me have a good job, but not a successful person, because you're just going to be a run of the chain, whatever they want you to be. You weren't actually going to do something for yourself. I wish I realized that a little bit earlier on.
I do understand that argument, but at the same time, like, no disrespect to teachers, but like, you know, a teacher on 28 grand a year, they don't know the secret to being successful, so they're not going to be teaching that shit.
No, I know they're not going to teach that shit, but I wish I realized some stuff like that myself. Like, I thought what they were teaching me was just gospel, and like, this is what's going to make you fucking successful in life, this, that, and the next thing. You're just too young and naive to realize that. But yeah, that's probably what I would wish I'd done.
Well, my school was like, if you don't go to uni, that's you're a fucking waste of space. That's kind of yeah. So
they don't mention anything about money in school, like nothing to say like this is a good job. it's going to make you rich. They'll never ever say anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's what everybody wants to. Well, most people want to have obviously a bit of money in life, and just one thing will keep you.
100%.
Jack.
To be honest, probably when I think about it now, is probably learn the value of time, and like how valuable time is, because like the amount of time I've wasted on certain things, you look back and it's like, what have I achieved from this like endless time I've spent doing said thing? So it's like, well, I guess like me going into the gym to do say like 2 sessions with like clients, and it's like thinking of the cash, and it's like what I could have done. I could have gone and spent the day with my family, or when I look back, like time I could have spent with my grandparents or something. It's like, did I even really need the money at the time? Probably. Like I just end up spending it on food or like shite, like, you know what I mean, Deliveroo, because I'm at the gym. So it's like, yeah. So just probably if I could appreciate my time more.
Yeah, I made a mistake of like when I was younger, just like wishing my life away, being like, when I'm 20, I'm going to do this. When I'm 25, I'm going to do this. When I'm 30, I'm going to do this. Rather than just trying to be like, right, okay, I need to live like not in the moment, but like stop thinking that far ahead, because you know you're not gonna appreciate the time that you have there and then. So says the guy that's been on contest prep for a year.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Because when I was in school, if you mentioned the word apprenticeship, you were just like pushed into a corner,
100%,
like behind everyone else, and like nobody took anything to do with you. But it's like, you know, it's helped me. It's put me where I am today. So you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. 3 favorite songs for lifting.
Easy. Well, not easy. Well, look.
Mine's the one I posted on YouTube, the Valhalla song from the Vikings, and Finger Death Punch, Wash It All the Way.
Yeah, it's a tune. Go on my gym playlist.
I go back to the COVID times of playing the fucking bagpipes, doing my big lifts.
I was going to say, it's not like Highland Cathedral or something, is it?
I fucking had loads of fucking bagpipes as well, got me fired up. I still listen to them, they get me fired up, so pretty good.
You started a trend, because I started fucking doing that as well.
I can't remember who it was that said to do it, and I was like, no way. And I put it on, and I got so fucking amped up for the set. I was like, this shit works. It's so fucking patriotic.
The power of bagpipes. Yeah, so I've got like a baseline of songs that I always play during sessions, but like the ones that are kind of newer that I kind of always listen to. There's a band called Caliban. They're German. The song's called For We Are Forever. Asking Alexandra, Not the American Average, and War Mode by Bugsy Malone. Those are kind of like the new 3 of my gym playlist that I kind of can't stop playing. I've never listened to like hip hop or anything years ago to train, but it's kind of.
I just can't get into R&B. I can't do hip hop or R&B to train to. It's just there's no, like, it doesn't film up with anything. There's nothing.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't know much about like hip hop and that, but like I can't stand the current like American stuff. It just sounds like moaning. It's all shite. Whereas like the stuff that comes out of London and that is way more like what I consider like gangster rap now. So that's I prefer that, definitely.
Like going back to like obviously the classics like Biggie and fucking Tupac and Ice Cube and stuff like that's good, but it still doesn't do anything for me in the gym.
Mm-hmm. That's when you're getting sloshed on the couch on a Saturday night, isn't it?
Yeah, just good shit, but need for the gym. Jack?
To be honest, I'm a massive Pendulum fan, so like I've actually picked my song for when I next compete, and it's Nothing for Free by Pendulum. It's like, I don't know, there's something about it. It gets like a minute in, it's just fucking awesome. There's a lot of like kind of dramatic notes in it, and every time I'm kind of training, I think of like competing, so it gets me fired up. I guess like Kickstart My Heart, Motley Crue, that's another good one as well. But it's too, I can't really think of a third one. I listen to anything, mate. Like, even some pretty heavy dance stuff as well. Some questionable dance stuff.
That's why you say questionable. I don't know if I should mention this one.
I don't know about you, Andy, but you see when like you're like there's like a song you love, and you're like, I want to post that, and then you'll just sit there and you're like going through it, you're trying to think of like moves, transition, like, nah, it's not gonna work. You're like, fuck, I really wish that would work.
Yeah.
So many songs I've been through like that, like I'd fucking love to post it, but once I sit there and I'm like trying to imagine what I would do, it's like there's nothing that flows with it. The beat doesn't work when I'm wanting to do my moves and stuff.
I think I mentioned this before the podcast, that I've always wanted to pose to Halo by Beyonce. That's a fucking belter, mate. Aye. So, but I don't know. It just doesn't like. The problem with it that because we only get a minute to do the posing routine, there's nowhere to crop it in the song to get perfect points through the song. So I'd have to do like a 3-minute routine to it, which obviously we can't do. So
yeah,
I've always wanted to post that.
I think my favourite song so far has been the one I've done with Arnold.
Yeah, that was a good song.
That's been my favourite, just because the way it starts off with the drop.
Yeah, I like that
Hard
one.
to just find that perfect music that works for you, but that was like when I just picked like last minute and it worked perfectly.
Didn't really get to hear your music at the Arnold's because all I heard was the commentators talking about your ass. Like,
I think it was AJ. He actually came and spoke to me for fucking ages in Denmark. He's actually such a cool guy. I was speaking to him for a good like hour backstage. He actually, I don't know why he's not a bodybuilder. He must weigh like 350, 400 pounds and he's like 6 foot. He's a fucking monster. You feel like a total dwarf that next to him.
And what would you say that, like, see when you're looking for like pose routine songs, because I work with a lot of posing clients and they like, I'm like, okay, right, send me your pose routine song. Like, I don't know where to start. I'm like, right, okay. So what would you say is like, what do you use? Do you just listen to a song and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to go with that one? Or how do you kind of...
I've just randomly heard songs and instantly, I don't know what it is. You're probably the same, Andy. You'll just know it's like a click is like, I could pose to that. Whereas like, it's not often happens. I can listen to song after song after song after song, and there'll just be one that comes up and like, I could pose to that.
Yeah.
But like, I've had clients like say like, oh, what pose to this? And I'll literally play like 3 seconds. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Like straight away, it's not going to work. That's not a posing song. It's like, I love that song. It's like, I don't care. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like serious, like heavy metal, and like you're going to like a total dick. Don't.
Aye. Or I always joke about with Reagan, because Reagan's from Kirkcaldy. Don't know if you have noticed, like, see everyone from Fife that competes, they all come on to like hardcore techno. Have you ever noticed that? It's like, why the fuck are you posing to that? They all, well, not all, but a lot of them do it. It's fucking hilarious. Remember the PCA British? I was sitting with James Reagan and James's fiance, and I was like, he's from Fife, watch this. It was like, next one, he's from Fife, watch this. It was fucking, it was just cliche, like, but no offense.
It's like you're watching them posing, it has no fucking rhythm to the song. So what they're doing, like, just want to play that song.
Yeah,
like,
if you can pose to techno, fair play to you, but 99% of people can't. So
they're just up there having a good time.
I know, just raving. They snorted a line going on stage. Sorry.
You know, happen.
Aye, it must fucking happen, especially in Scotland.
What's the best advice you give to people competing for the first time? Enjoy the whole process. Enjoy the whole process and work hard at everything you do. Don't give everything any less than 100%.
Yeah. I would say that. And then on top of that, I would say you're going to be tested on every front. If you're doing it right, every single front that you can possibly think of, like mentally, physically, relationships. Your training is going to suck at some point. If that's not advice, but it's just kind of just making them aware. So you just have to ensure you're going into it with like, you're doing it for a good reason. Like you're 100% wanting to compete. That's what I say to anyone is like, are you 100%? Like, no. It's like, don't even bother, because that 1% will throw you off. That'll make you cheat. That'll make you not train hard. It'll make you miss cardio. So you have to want to do it like wholeheartedly. Like there's nothing else that matters more in the world to do, even no matter what level it is, because no matter what level, you have to come in shredded anyway. Doesn't matter what level you compete at. So you just have to, I would just say, make sure you're wholeheartedly in it before you start. And
this is like what we spoke about before, like the amount of people wanting to compete now, and it's like because they've came to the gym, they've probably started liking pages on their social media to see people who are competing, the photos, like, oh, looks like fun, I could do that. They have no fucking like experience about it before. They have no idea what it entails. And it's like, yeah, fuck, I could do a little bit of a diet. Fuck it. I train anyway. I could do that. And it's like, they've no idea that's not even close to the sacrifice you're going to put yourself into.
Yeah.
And that's when people cheat. They're like, oh, it's not for me halfway through. It's too hard. And it's like, just because they go to the gym doesn't mean you should be competing.
Yeah. 100%.
It's a common trend now.
How about you, Jack?
Probably take the pressure off yourself and, you know, be real with what you're doing. It's like it's your first show, you know. It's you should be going there just to kind of find out who you are, where you stand, and it should be an enjoyable experience as well, you know. Yeah,
that's a good one. Don't put any expectations on your head. Just do your thing, and like just want to compete. Just get there. Just get to the end. Get to the finish line and do what you can do. Yeah.
Well, don't expect to do your first show with the goal of being Mr. Olympia. Like, you know, just go in one show at a time and just see how you kind of move up the ranks in that sense.
What's the best measure of progress for beginner lifters? I would say the progressive overload.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
They're really, no matter what style of training you do, that's still going to have to be the aspect of your training. If it's volume, low volume, high intensity, whatever it is, it still has to be an aspect of you progressing every week. There's no way not to progress. You have to do some type of that.
Yeah, so get the logbook out and just make sure you're kind of continually pushing up in weight, reps, or if you've got a coach or someone who knows what they're looking at, ensure that the technique is improving progressively. So that's another aspect of progressive overload that people kind of overlook. So if you're controlling the weight more, feeling the weight work a wee bit more, these are all small indicators of progression. Just that mind muscle connection building up, you know, you need, you know, that's progressive in itself. So that's something to kind of look out for there.
Someone's asked acne induced by testosterone, how to combat it. We spoke about this before.
I'll take this one. Actually, no, Jack, have you ever dealt with any acne or anything like that in gear?
No, I mean, I've never had it, but like I was always, I do remember hearing a discussion about salicylic acid.
Yeah.
About like wipes with salicylic acid helping with redness. But not like that. It's not something I've ever had experience with myself. No, fortunately.
Well, I'll take this one then. So yeah, it was late 2020. Out of nowhere, like I had no acne before. I had pretty decent skin from even through puberty. Out of nowhere, I had fucking horrific acne where like it was painful to put a top on. It was painful to wear a seatbelt in a car, across my chest, along my beard line here. I've still got kind of that skin on my face around my cheeks really thin because it's almost like scar tissue because just the acne around my eye was so bad. And there was one here, you can actually see like I've got a beard missing here because I had like basically like a boil there. And I remember Reagan burst it and it just would not stop fucking pissing just oil, like not pus, like oil out of it. It was fucking mean. And I tried, what do you call it? Limacicline, which is an antibiotic. So if you are listening and you do kind of suffer from acne as related to your gear, you can get a prescription for limacicline and you can run that and see kind of how it benefits you. You might never need to use it ever again, but it's an antibiotic that kills the bacteria that's in the skin that comes out your skin, because we all have that bacteria. It's when there's a build-up and an overload of it that you get, obviously, the breakouts, the pus, the cysts, the spots. So what I decided to do eventually, because I thought it could be something related to my gut, because I never had acne. Surely I'd have got acne when I done my first shot or my first cycle. Which I didn't. So I thought maybe it's something to do with my gut, because if your gut's not running at 100%, you're going to have toxins and stuff leaking into your bloodstream, and that can affect your skin as well. So I corrected all my, got my gut health up, which was I probably needed to do anyway because I've been bodybuilding dieting for so long. That corrected itself, but acne was still there, still painful. I would do sets, and like the spots would burst. And like the cysts would burst as I do like heavy squats or heavy deads. It was embarrassing, and two, it was fucking mean. So I decided to use Accutane. I just got off the black market. I didn't bother going with the NHS because you always run the risk of going to the doctor and being like, right, I use gear. I want to use Accutane. They're right. Come off the gear then. I'm like, well, that's not an option, mate. So like, you're gonna have to give me fucking Accutane, and then it's like there's a 3-month waiting list, so on and so forth. So anyway, but I started taking 20 milligram of Accutane, and I've done that for 8 months. I came off that in August last year. And I've not had a breakout since. I get the odd spot now and again, but everyone does. So that seems to kind of keep it at bay. I'm actually back on Accutane just now, purely just to keep my skin as perfect as possible going into the show, because obviously your skin quality is an aspect of your appearance. So I put 10 milligram back in with that, so that's next to nothing. They put 50 kilogram birds on like fucking 80 milligram of Accutane. That's usually where you hear the scare stories, is from wee birds who drink, eat shite, don't exercise, don't drink water. These are the people that you usually hear the Accutane scare stories from. I've noticed dry lips, dry nose. That's about it with Accutane for me. So if you don't want to go down that route, though, you might have to reduce the testosterone you're using, pull that back, because say testosterone converts to DHT, and it's the DHT that's driving that acne and obviously everything behind that. So I would maybe start there if you wanted to. If you're like me and you didn't want to, then probably go down the Accutane route, I would say.
And you have heard the stories of actual bad oil causing acne. Have you?
Yeah, there's only if it's bad gear, then it's just gonna seep out the skin and sit in the skin and cause inflammation. So yeah,
the only way to know that is if it's actually like a new lab you've used and you've not had it before, now you've got it. Obviously, that's a telltale sign. It was pinpointing to that.
Yeah.
But if it's obviously from your hormones, then what Andy said would be the best route to go down. So,
but yeah, I mean, like, staying clean obviously is number one. Like, you should be showering 2-3 times a day anyway, but you can be, I'm proper OCD about everything. So like, trust me, I'm fucking clean and I still got it. So, you know, if you're going to get acne, you're going to get acne. If you're going to get gyno, you're going to get gyno. If you're going to get whatever, you're going to get whatever. Everyone has the side that they're eventually going to get. So, and 9 years of gear use, I found out that acne was my one. So,
how would you structure a push day if everything needs to come up?
If everything needs to come up, then you wouldn't do a push day.
What would you do?
A chest, delts, and arms day. Would you not?
I still think as a beginner, there's still room to do that.
Yeah, well, it depends. Yeah, it depends what kind of level.
Depends your level. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be just a basic way of setting stuff up. I always try to like put in an exercise first that warm up pretty much the whole area that I'm working. So like the side laterals, like we did for our session, that's going to be a good drive of blood and warm up, and the tendons get loosened off and everything. Then move into your heavy movements. That's my kind of approach. Then taper off into your auxiliaries towards the end.
Would you if say your incline bench was like your weak area, would you keep that at the start of the session when you're sort of fresh, or would you prefer to kind of pre-exhaust and keep it towards the end?
I would always do it first.
Scenario.
Yeah, I would do it first.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah,
I would put it after an exercise. Like obviously I do a good bit of warm up. Like on weighted chest, I'll warm up on cables and stuff. But then like this now, I'm doing a machine chest press before I go and do my incline Smith. So it's I really want to make sure it's very, very warmed up and a bit like fatigued before I actually go a bit into my heavy moves. But then I'm still progressing well in that movement. If I didn't, I would kind of scale back. I always like to keep it towards the first part of the session for sure.
Is that the Nautilus press you've got in warehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen your band set up on it the other day.
Yeah. But, we actually just ordered the gym kit one, the gym shot one.
Oh, cool.
Oh, gym shot kit.
Plate loaded. We've just got that, and the same with the pull down that they've got, and the one you've got in Future Andy. You know, the seated row.
Aye.
With the weird handles. We've just got that plate loaded.
Oh, cool.
So much new kits coming.
Yeah. Might move back to Aberdeen.
Honestly, he's like a kid in a candy shop. Every day he'll text me, goes, Jim should get this. I'm actually not telling him, no, stop spending your money.
I remember, I think I was on prep at the time, and Mind the Bird that used to own Warehouse, I forget her name. She was like, what do you think of that hack squat? I was like, right. Like, I got that from Powerhouse. I was like, I don't care where you got it from. Shite. Doesn't matter where you got it from. Total.
That's the worst hack squat.
Oh, it was awful.
Awful, so bad. If you went back in time to gladiator times, what would your weapon of choice be in the Colosseum?
These are the questions I like.
Trying to think about one like a massive sword. You can look those fucking like the nunchucks, but with the massive ball on the end of the spikes.
Yeah.
Smash folks' heads with that thing. I would go right through a helmet. I'd take that.
What, an axe or something that you can like throw and then just run away, like fucking.
They'll be a little fucking like a Viking axe. They'll probably throw.
What stuff I'm like?
I'd maybe take the horse and cart. Fucking belt just running away.
Just run about with that. The front cuts over.
Aye. Get those fucking spears that come out the wheels.
I don't know. I think I don't know if they had machetes in gladiator time, but I think a machete is pretty. Just the sight of a machete makes me shit my pants. Like, so I'll probably have a machete. I think if I was going to do anything like that.
Too many fights in a fucking shop at like 2 in the morning. All these cunts fucking having a fight over their food.
Fucking machete. You see all that gang stuff in London, you know, like all the CCTV and they're running after each other with machetes. You're like, that is fucking brutal. How can you do that to another human being? No matter how much.
I can't remember who it was posted a video. There was, I think it was actually in Glasgow, and there was like somebody came to a guy's house and they got him out, and the guy had like a machete. So the guy went back in, got his machete, and they started having a fucking fight outside. I'm not joking. It was proper. Like he actually got him across the back, and it was like a fucking wound like this size across his back, and the cunt kept fighting.
I think I told you the story before, Greg. It was because at the time I was training a cop, and they told me the story about how like they rammed this other gangster off the road, get him out of the car, and they just smashed his face in with a machete. And when the cops arrived, they thought he'd been shot in the face with a shotgun. It was his face was that bad. Yeah. But I won't say any more about the story, but because I know the boy. I know the boy fucking he watches this. So but I was like, that's fucking brutal. So if I was to use any kind of tool, it'd probably be a machete. Just because I know how feared I am of someone with a machete. So I want the same thing.
Jack.
I mean, I'm pretty sheltered up here in Inverness. I've not seen anyone with a fucking machete about up here. But, I don't know. Like, I just binge watched Hunger Games for the first time, and the girl with the bow and arrow. So I'd probably take a bow and arrow. Yeah.
It's not like some sort of like Highland weapon you'd pick.
Just like a Highland cow's horn on the end of a stick or something. Like
Stick on your head and just run about like that.
Run about like that, yeah.
It's a fucking basic javelin.
Aye.
What random things make you motivated?
Random things make you motivated?
I do have them, but it's kind of a hard one to answer.
Yeah.
Like I know I do have them, but I can't honestly think for life what they are. Like really weird. Just like some music can come on. Actually, do you know what? Motivational speeches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some of the classics of like even like some of Will Smith stuff when he's speaking about stuff, it just hits home, and it makes you honestly fucking really like, you know, the speech we used in our introduction video when we did back then, like that gets you fired up.
Yeah, that's good.
It just kind of hits home about certain things.
Do you guys follow Machiavelli motivation?
Yeah.
They did one. It was with Muhammad Ali, and I think of all the bodybuilding ones, like the Muhammad Ali one stood out far above them. It was just like so powerful.
Aye. Then a Mike Tyson one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I listen to, when I do my morning cardio, I occasionally listen to fighters and talking that. I'm not into UFC, boxing, anything. I'm not really into that kind of thing. But the mindset that fighters have, it's just fucking unreal. I love it. Yeah. You know, I know bodybuilders have the same kind of mindset because obviously we have to put ourselves through some pretty mad shit, but I feel like fighters are just more vocal about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As much probably people think like Conor McGregor's a bit of an asshole at times. You see when he speaks about certain things and he's like does like a little bit of a motivational thing. He's got a lot going on up there, and like the way he thinks is fucking special. And it is just like pure determination, and like what he says will happen. There's no
Yeah.
plan, there's none. Whatever plan A is plan A, and that's it.
Yep.
It will happen. It's like that's a totally different mindset to have, and to be successful, you fucking need that.
Yep, 100%.
So I think that, like, when I hear other people speak, it just really gets me fired up for sure.
It's quite hard because, like, I think I've always said, like, motivated people don't need motivated.
No, I don't. No, it's not like I needed that to go to the gym.
Yeah.
But it took me from like here to here.
Aye.
Like I was already ready to go smash it, but then I'm fucking ready to go and kill it after that. It's like they just put you a little boost.
Yeah, because that's like a question that you kind of get is like, how do you stay motivated all the time? I'm like, I don't know.
I've never needed it.
I never needed to think about that. Like I have days where I've been quite vocal on my stories and that, how last weekend was probably the least motivated I've ever been on a prep, but there's an underlying motivation that kind of just keeps me going. So it drops, but it's like it doesn't drop below a certain point. It's like a stop loss. Like, you know what I mean? It won't go below a point where I won't work. I'll always still have that baseline of just like, this is the bare minimum work, which is still 10 times higher than most anyway. But
I mean, the three of us probably have days where like we've not got the same motivation as we had like two days ago or something.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way we won't go and do what we're still planning on doing.
Yeah.
Whereas like loads of people will like say, do you know what, I'm going to miss the gym today. I'm going to get a fucking takeaway, and like I'm going to be chilled, and I'll go back again tomorrow. Like we wouldn't do that, and like it would never cross our minds to do that. It's like I started going to do this. I don't want to, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. And it's just like it's a set of devotion, but it's also like that's just how our brains work. Like we won't miss what we're going to do because that's part of our plan.
Yeah.
Just can't deviate from that.
100%.
Yeah, that's one of the little things, but that's all the questions this time.
How about you, Jack? What kind of wee things kind of motivate you?
Sorry guys, I dropped off there. Motivation wise, I mean, to be honest, well, going off what you guys just said, even when you aren't motivated, you're probably more motivated than you realise. It's like what you're talking about, Andy, sort of sounds like it's what Graham always told me was it's the non-negotiables, you know?
Aye.
It's like that bare minimum. It's like, it's fucking habitual, like it gets done, like no matter what. But I think like what I find motivating is just like, sort of like what Greg said about kind of Conor McGregor, that sort of like kind of rag stitches anyone going from here to here, like, and seeing the process and like seeing them come out the other end on top, like in any sport, it kind of fires me up, you know.
Yeah, like I love his story of like, if you ever watch his film or his documentary stuff of like when he was absolutely nothing, like living on the dole, he was still in Ireland, and he's saying on camera, he's like, I will be the best fighter in the world in like X time or like this and that, and it's like fast forward fucking 3 years, said and done. There was no fucking ifs or buts. He nailed it, and he went above and beyond. Like he believed it, and he just went and achieved it.
Yeah,
not to do it. You just have that mindset.
Yeah. See, with what you're saying there, actually, one's come to mind is I trained in the past with a couple of times with Tom Stoltman. Went up to the gym in Inverness. This is years ago. I had a kind of mutual friend and strongman, and every now and then we'd have a couple of event days. Like I was down in Lawrencekirk, we did a truck pull and stuff. But Tom came up to the gym, and I remember speaking to him then. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, and he's
oh no,
right in the middle of a good point as well.
Oh no, right in the middle of the story.
Wait till he comes back.
Tom's actually somebody I was going to mention earlier when we're speaking about like people from Scotland or up north, like twice a time. When you go,
you cut out again.
Sorry, I think it's my big head absorbing the Wi-Fi signal or something. That I don't know what. No, I was saying about Tom. Like I've trained with Tom in the past, and he would always say it wasn't. I want to be world's strongest man. It's I will be world's strongest man, and there was never any degree of doubt in what he said. And then look what's happened. So it's like if you can manifest it and see it and believe in it, it will happen. You know.
Yeah. And for him, that is actually a bigger statement than anybody. Like that's bigger than Conor McGregor's statement, because like obviously what he's had to go through to get world's strongest man. Like obviously he's got like autism, and he was so shy. He didn't want to be on the camera. He couldn't speak in front of the camera. Now look at him. Like what he's went through and battled and overcome to be world's strongest man is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So his story is actually more amazing than most people's.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good to obviously like. I think what him and his brother have achieved, obviously being brothers, like what did Luke come in World's Strongest Man? You had top 5.
I think he's been top 5 before, yeah.
Yeah, like to be top 5 in the world, like 2 brothers from up north in Scotland, like pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, is what you say about his autism. It's like he calls it a gift. It's like, you know, say there's like fucking 400 kilos in a bar. He sees it and he's got to lift it. Doesn't think anything else of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I had 400 kilos in a bar, I'd be like Andy looking at a machete. I'd shit myself.
Yeah. Things run through your brain like this could be terribly wrong. I could damage, hurt myself, injure, snap something. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go on that and do it.
Yeah,
Simple.
it's just simple. Makes it look so easy. It's like, yeah, incredible.
It's amazing when you cut out the thinking of some things, like what you can do. Like if you just go and do something, it'll work in your favor. The more and more you think about something, then it's just not. So it just shows you.
If that was the last question, what I think we should do is have a look at the Arnold Classic Pro lineup and kind of give our kind of predictions. I think it'll be quite cool.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking hard.
Yeah.
Right, so this was posted in December, so it might have been updated, but I don't think it has. So, right, so that's the list there. We've got William Bonac, Raphael, Max Charles, Brandon Curry, Samson, Diasha, Grimes, Steve Kuklo, Cedric McMillian, Fabio Rezende, who won the amateurs 2 years ago, Justin Rodriguez, Shaban, Brett Wilkin, and Akeem. That is a mad lineup, in my opinion. I think that is. If I was any of them,
lineup, like they're all good in their own, like they're all in the same kind of level, in my opinion. There's a couple that are kind of surpassing it slightly, but even like some people can really pull out the bag and like jump way higher than what they've been doing.
Yeah. Right, let's go with our number ones. Who do we think?
Brandon. I really want Brett to win, but I just don't think he can take Brandon yet.
No, I don't think so either.
Brandon's just a shoe-in for this. It's easy money for him. Like,
yeah,
he was probably laughing when he got his invite. He was like, "Fuck yes."
I'm gonna buy a new house for this shit. Yeah, I'll go Brandon as well.
Yeah, I'd say Brandon straight out for fun. Yeah.
Number 2. I know there's something about Brett that still to me doesn't scream second either. I think if Bonac's on, I think Bonac's going to be second.
I think his time's gone.
You think?
As much as I want to, like, they were saying, like, obviously he was stuck in a hotel with the Olympia and this, that, the next thing. He's like 47, maybe, something like that.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, these black guys don't age, do they? I look about 93.
Like fucking vampires, man. Nah, I just don't see it. As good as he is, I don't know. If he does come in as himself, he will be second, but I don't think he will.
Right, okay.
I don't think Nathan's going to go.
No, I don't think so either.
He's doing fuck all this now, and everybody's like getting peeled out their mind. He's doing fucking nothing.
No, Nathan, though. You can reel it in 2 weeks.
He probably could, but I don't know. Like, it really depends, because whoever nails it is going to be fucking. Cedric won't nail it. He's done.
No, Cedric's definitely done. Like his time's gone.
He was training with Brett and Steve Kuklo, I think.
Yeah, it just didn't look it.
Yeah, in the pictures, it was just too far gone.
Yeah.
If Steve turns up 100%, he'll come in second, or he could come in second.
On about like a side note, if we're talking about Cedric McMillan, like I think he is, in my opinion, like the biggest. This is gonna sound harsh. I think he's the biggest letdown in bodybuilding history, in my opinion. I think and his
look is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of us, we've all competed numerous times. We know it is a head fuck. I just don't understand how he has such an issue with being on stage. I don't get it. I just don't understand how he's brought his physique to that level and he struggles mentally to deal with being on stage or going on stage.
Because everybody's got their own issues, but I mean,
I know, I get that.
It is a big one, obviously, and it's sad, but it is what it is. when he does nail it, it's fucking phenomenal. Like his shape and flow and size is just it's very very hard to beat.
Well, I was there 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's an Arnold Classic champion already, but I just don't. He's getting on in years as well. I just don't see him.
Yeah, I don't see him
coming back now. It's kind of probably past that point.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Brett just because I want him to be second, but it's going to be a battle between him, Samson, Regan.
Yeah,
I just love Brett's look and what he's managed to achieve in that space of time.
How about you, Jack?
So I'm a massive Goodclaw fan, and like especially after seeing him, last time when he stood against Ian and Nick, like held his ground, and I think that's two of the best guys in the business. So like I'd love to see Steve take a second.
Yeah,
I can't think that nobody else really jumps into that place in my mind as much as Steve.
Well, my third would be Brett. I would say.
I'll go Regan.
Yeah, let's say Regan as well. Yeah,
I think he's going to really shock some people what his weight turn up like. Because what he did with Milos in like 2 weeks, he's had he trains every single day now. He's pushed his weight up. Milos will have him skinless this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a big battle between him and
Brett or Regan. Yeah,
it'd be very close between those two, I think.
And then everyone else, I kind of think it can just be a bit of a mash-up. I mean, Raphael's always going to do well because he's so aesthetic.
I just think carry size. Some people say he's like 120 kilos on stage. He just doesn't look it.
Jesus.
Yeah. Was he not getting like pure pissed off when people are like, "Oh, you should drop down to classic"? He's like, "There's no fucking chance I'm dropping down to classic."
Because his waist is so small, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like his front double, his front lat spread and stuff is just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, like I said, I think everyone else is a mash up there. It could be anything, but that's a pretty tidy top three, I'd say. So I've actually got tickets to the pro show, so I'll be seeing it live. So yeah, can't wait for that.
If Akeem nails it, he could beat them all.
Oh yeah, hands down. Yeah,
that's a big ask.
Mm.
That's like a 1 in 10 chance.
With his seal skin,
it's rare, very rare.
Yeah.
You fucking Jaretta come to fuck. Shed off the seal skin. Thing is though, he wouldn't go flat. He'd still be round.
No chance. No,
and he'd go fucking flat. Yeah.
So
I do think Samson will look good as well.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful shape and his presentation's amazing. He's a good bodybuilder, like.
He's definitely been able to nail it the past few shows as well. So
I just don't know if he'll manage to peak as well as Regan with Milos being there.
Mm-hmm. So like with Regan, like I've always found like following him like up to like that kind of 2 week out mark, he's so inflated. He's like a fucking cloud. He's so big and round, and it's such a good look. But then every time I watch him, he steps on stage, it's like it's almost sort of like deflated.
Yeah.
And off. So like hopefully, like you say, what he's done with Milos, because like
the first show he did with Milos, the Legion, that was his best look.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Milos was with him every day, like he was absolutely peeled. That's the best he's looked. So if they can do that again, he's going to do damage.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll be a very, very good show for any reason.
That's going to be good. Like,
very good.
Sure. Right, that's just coming to an hour, boys. So, Jack, I just want to thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate kind of giving up your time and just kind of talk shite with us. And obviously, we want to help obviously get Scottish bodybuilders' faces out there and just trying to spread the news that there's a lot of good physiques coming out of Scotland now. So, and just kind of boost like hopefully try and boost your social media and whatnot. So
yeah, no, it should be me thanking you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate.
No problem at all. So yeah, guys, if you stayed with us this long, thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and fucking do something with a bell. And
tell a friend.
Whatever bell you want to ring. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in, guys. See you in a bit.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers.